we're back, and it's a bit of a different video because we are having a look round, can you believe it, one of my own cars, and it's my brand new purchase, this amazing 1.3 Morris Marina, all the way from 1971. So usually when I show you around the outside of the car, take you under the bonnet and all the rest of it, I usually do it that I talk through the history of the car, but we already did that on the previous Marina video. So I'm going to walk you through the car, show you some of the faults, show you some of the bits and pieces, and just have a chat with you about the car itself. So it's on pretty low mileage, and the first thing you'll probably notice is the grille looks different to the 1.8 that we tested when we took out Joe's Marina, and that's because the 1.3s and the 1.8s had a different grille. But I absolutely love it, and in fact I kind of prefer this one, and it's not just because I'm biased, because this is my own car. So this is in British Leyland colour, glacier white, and it's pretty kind of, as we walk around you'll see that it's kind of one of those cars, a little bit like Jill, where the paintwork might be a little bit shabby, but the rest of the car underneath and inside is actually looking pretty good. So we've got the Marina badge on the front here. From this point it kind of looks pretty much as you'd expect. There's a few bits around here, so I'll just bring you on over. We've got a few bits over here that just needs a little bit of attention, things like this, but it's nothing that can't be fixed with a good afternoon and a little bit of paint. So you've got another bit over here, so I'll bring you around. We've got super badge over here. And I know this is really sad, but I absolutely love this British Leyland badge over here. Now, if you hadn't spotted the super badge already, you would know it was super, or you would have a pretty good indication because it's got these chrome trims around the wheel arches. So we'll bring you on back. We're going to have a look inside in a little minute, but over here we've got a crook lock sticker. I love pointing out old stickers to you guys. So you've got that just in there, and I'll bring you around so you can see already this is a pretty big car. There's a few nicks and scrapes around here. Took it through the car wash. This has appeared today, which I'm absolutely fuming about, but we'll get it sorted. And as we come round, so I'll bring you on round. One of the things I love about old cars is when you get the dealership sticker. So we've got the dealership sticker over here. Now I looked up to see what that is now. That is actually a corner shop. They've just changed the purpose of it. But again, you've got all your badges across here. These are all still here. And quite nice as well is all your chrome. So this was replaced by the previous owner. It's a new old stock bumper. You've got your Marina 1.3 on there. These boot locks are different. So if you've got a later one, a Mark II, the boot locks are slightly different. So with this one, I can accidentally lock the keys in the boot very, very easily, which will happen at some point. So I'll bring you on round. These are the same door handles that you seem to get on a lot of BL stuff of that era. It's that era in BL where they went, sod it, it's in the parts bin, let's get it on. But remember, the Marina is a car that went from conception to being available to the public in just 3 years, because BL kind of saw that gap that was available, and they said, right, well, we've got a bit of a gap that we need to fill, because you know you've got the cars that are going out and we're saying goodbye to, and we're bringing something new in, and the something new was obviously the Morris Marina. Now it's still got all the hubcap trims on, which is quite nice because they're quite expensive. To replace those, I think it's £200 on eBay at the moment for a set of 4 new old stock, which is horrendous. And yeah, so that's kind of our little walk round. So we're pan on round, but as you can see, it's a pretty honest car, but it's just a little bit rough around the edges, so we need to get a few bits done. But first of all, before we have a look at any of the inside stuff, because I think that's where this car really excels, let's get the bonnet open and I'll show you under there too. Now don't forget, you could have picked a 1.3 or a 1.8 to sit under your bonnet, or later on in the series you could have picked a 1.7, or if you were in Australia you could have picked a humongous, I think it was a 2.6. Anyway, come and have a look under this engine bay, because when we looked under Jill, you'll have thought that the 1.3 looked about right in the space, whereas here it feels really, really small. So it's as you would expect. You've got your engine there, you've got your windscreen washer bottle up there, you've got your radiator over here, your radiator water feeding into your radiator, you've got your air filter, you've got your carb, so it's all carb set up, it's all pretty original. You've got your coil over there, and you've got your alternator down here. So Tom will just come in and show you. So you've got all of that in there. Now, just like the rest of the car, under the bonnet, the car's a little bit, it's a little bit kind of, it needs a little bit of a touch up, but by and large it is a solid car. It's just a couple of little areas of concern that we definitely need to get sorted out in spring. So I'm going to pop that bonnet back down. bit of bounce on that actually, look. Come on, come and have a look inside. I'll show you. So, one of the things I always like on a car is a door that opens and shuts really nicely. So it opens up, I'll bring you on round and I'll bring you inside. So as you can see, we're going to do a dash walkthrough, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a picture of what it looked like inside. And as you can see, it's very tidy and it's a very, very nice car. So with cars of this era, especially with things like trim being available, it's much easier to sort out a little bit of bodywork than to try and be finding all the missing bits of trim and all the rest of it. So been very lucky. Now I'll show you the back. So we've got that in there. So I've got a bag of shopping in there and my handbag, and weirdly a Montego book for my friend Colin. But yeah, as you can see, it's very clean, very tidy, and it's a very nice car. So coming back round, I just want to show you how much space we've got there. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of space, quite a lot of leg room. You can probably see that there. It is a very spacious car to be driving in. So now that we've had a look around the outside and the inside and under the bonnet, I think it's high time that we took her on the road so you can hear what she sounds like. Now, before we go anywhere, I wanted to do a quick walk through the dash. So we obviously saw it when we did Joe's Marina, but I thought we would do just a little bit of a catch up. So we start over here. We've got the glove box, just got my work pass in there and a spare petrol cap. Under here, you've got your parcel shelf. So it's got a radio that weirdly I found in the back of the car. This is where your speaker would be. So I can just pop this out to show you. Popped it out the other day. Not playing ball with me now. And this is just a magnetic pad that I've got for my phone. And down here, this is your dash. So this is blank at the moment because basically there are no added extras. So here, let me show you. You've got, let me just show you. Got here, got your cigarette tray. This is where your radio would go, and this is where your cigarette lighter would go. Over here, you've got your heater, you've got all your heater controls there. By the way, it works marvellously. I would say it's probably as warm as Jill. And here you have got your gauges, so we zoom in there. So these are slightly different to the 1.8 that we took out when we had 3 gauges. We have the rev counter as well. So on this one, we don't have a rev counter. However, we have got a speedo, we've got a fuel gauge, and we have got a temperature gauge, which honestly is pretty much what you need. You don't need all these extra bits and pieces as you always see. Now, the one big change that I think that you may notice from when we looked at Joe's is that the speedo only goes up to 100 miles an hour. So that was something they put into the 1.3s. Now down here, let me just see if I can show you. Camera messing me about. Let me show you. Can you see there? So I'll bring you round. Excuse me. Bring you round. Over here, you have got your choke and your lights just down there. So it's kind of a good setup, really. You've kind of got everything you need. Now, Motor Magazine said in 1971 that the gearbox was a bit stiff until the car had warmed up. And I'm actually inclined to agree with them because this car is not a massive mileage, so the gearbox is still relatively all together. So what I'm going to do is we're going to talk through how the gears are, because a lot of you guys have asked for this. So here we go. So we go up into first, down into second, cross into third, into fourth, come across, and you lift and you go up, and that brings you into reverse. Now I think it's time that we start the car up before we head off. So I'm going to start her up for you. It's probably one of the quietest 1300s I have ever heard in my entire life. So let's get it started so you guys can hear it too. So if you hear that, it's so quiet. So I'll give it a rev so you can hear how she sounds before we head off for a drive, and you'll be able to hear the engine running as we have a chat and we drive around West Yorkshire. So give it a rev. To me, that sounds brilliant. Now, the question everybody keeps asking me is, why did I go for a Morris Marina? Now, it's no secret that I take lots of different cars out on test drives, and one of the cars that I enjoyed the most, and I've driven it many, many times, was the Morris Marina. I loved it so much. It was that, it was the Zephyr, it was the Corsair, but look, I had a very small budget, and the thing that jumped out most to me was the Marina. So I said to everybody if I got the job, and I did get the job, hurrah, employed. I said that I was going to go out and I was going to get a Morris Marina. So Joe got offered one for, what was it, £700, 700, 800, and we went to see it, and it was just too much of a project. But by that point I felt like I was already emotionally invested in this idea of getting a Marina. So I spoke to Josh Ward, who sold Joe his, and he tipped me off about a Marina. That he said, well look, it's sold in that weird period between Christmas and New Year. So I contacted the seller, and the seller said, look, the guy hasn't turned up, do you want to come and view? So I went and viewed, and I ended up with this amazing white Marina. And I'm really shocked that I did it, because it wasn't what I was looking for. So again, people are going to say, what were you looking for? Well, I wanted the same sort of thing as Joe, really, because I haven't got much imagination. So I wanted a 1.8, I wanted a coupe, I wanted a snazzy colour, maybe blaze or something exciting, and I got a white saloon 1.3 with drum brakes all round. But it was again like that Metro thing, where I went and had a look, and I said, well, if I'm being realistic with my budget, so you know, if I had like 7 or 8 grand, A, I wouldn't be buying a Marina, B, I'd be able to buy whatever I wanted, I guess. There aren't that many in the first place, and there definitely aren't many in my price range that are rotten. Now, I chose this Marina because when I went to view it, the seller was great, he was very honest, he showed me around, he told me all the faults, and we had a look underneath, and it was completely solid, and it just seemed like the most sensible car that I could have bought. Now, it started its life slightly differently to the way you see it today. So Josh from the Marina Owners Club bought it, and him and Carl, one of the other Marina people, when they got it, it was well, it was like some sort of ridiculous race car on jacked up suspension, and with a side exit exhaust, and all this mad pinstriping, and all these different bits and pieces, these dials that were up here. You can see the little holes, the pinholes still, and they took it back, and it had no interior, it had nothing, it looked absolutely terrible, and they took it back and they made it look like the car that it is today. And Pete, the guy that I bought it off, he'd done a bit more, he'd put a new old stock back bumper on, he'd put the new front seats in, and it felt like everybody that owned the car had really cared about it and done all the right things to it. So for me, it felt like the right car to get. So I paid the money, and now I've got it. And my first week, so I like to, when I take out one of my own cars, I like to tell you as much as I can. I've now done around 500 miles in it. I've only had it a week, which is ridiculous. So I've done around 500 miles in it this week. It's not using any oil whatsoever. A few negatives that I found are the one of the drums, because it's on drum brakes all round, is slightly warped. That needs to be sorted out. So I've ordered some new old stock drums off eBay, so they'll be coming this week. We'll be doing that. Excuse me. The fan belt is slightly loose, so we're going to get that tightened up today, and we're just going to tune up the carb, and that is all it needs. Everything else is absolutely spot on. So I'm really, really pleased with it. And I can't wait to add it to the fleet. So yeah, it's honestly, and what is it like to drive? So because it's on such low mileage, encouraged an awful lot more, because they are great cars. They are good fun to drive. It's smooth, it's responsive, and most of all it's quite comfortable, because I've got these super deluxe seats. They're slightly wider, which is great. You know, you've got all the comfort, all the handling, you've got a lovely warm heater, you've got double speed wipers. To be quite honest with you, for the year of the car, 1971, great, easy enough off the lights, great daily classic, and to be honest with you, I cannot wait to take it even further this summer. So it's time for me to say goodbye to you guys, and thank you very much for watching my new Marina video. I hope you enjoy it. We've got lots of adventures planned for Tina this year. She'll be going to Miners on Tour, she'll be going to lots of different things, all the BL days. It's going to be fantastic. Now I know a few of you are very worried about Jill, but don't worry. Tina's only come on board so that Jill can have an easier life, because some months I'm doing up to 2,000 miles a month and it didn't seem fair to keep putting the mileage on Jill. So you will see Jill, but you'll also see the Marina as well, and the Morris Marina. So there's a lot going on for 2020 and I cannot wait to show you. So I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Remember, when you leave your comments, please be kind, because I'm a person with feelings, and also this is a great car and she deserves a little bit of respect. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, but until next time, take care and drive safely.